Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. Today is February 5th, a Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. I can't believe that's not actually a holiday somehow, that America didn't try to vote for that or something, because there's no productive work going on the day after Super Bowl. People just blow in all like, oh, fuck. I've always been a huge Eagles fan, huge Eagles fan. I love Hotel California, Long Run. Anyway, if you watch Super Bowl, cool. I didn't see a fucking minute of it because I was moving. And, I don't have enough money to hire movers. Because you know how fucked it is. When you're moving, you got to give them first month and last month rent. And then I had to pay a month here at my old place because I'm in the fucking, you got to give a 30 days. So it's like 3 months of rent. So, and I'm at that age where I can't really ask friends to help me move. You know what I mean? I'm 52. It's not like, hey, help me move. It's like asking for a ride to the airport. They're just like, dude. Hire someone. You're an adult, And it was the only time that I hated fucking vinyl yesterday as I was moving these 12 boxes of vinyl. I was like, fuck this shit, man. I just want to get rid of everything. I'll just go iTunes, own nothing, just some clothes, some artwork, and iTunes. That'll be fine. I was just going through that yesterday, back and forth in the Ryder van, just ride. Which, by the way, how the fuck, not Ryder, but U-Haul. How do all U-Hauls, I'm serious, all of them over the last 30 years of me moving places, you could blindfold me and kidnap me. And if it was in a U-Haul, I'd be like, oh, I'm in a U-Haul. The smell. What is that smell? It's so weird. All U-Hauls have this fucking smell. I can't figure it out. Because it's all different vehicles, makes like Chevy and Ford and whatever they're using. It's not like, oh, it's the factory. When you get in old VWs, they all smell the same because of the interior. I found out later on they used horse hair in the interior. That's why they smelt like that. Those old VW Bugs and stuff, and also Porsches. But, man, it's so weird. Anyway, I was moving those records yesterday. I was just furious. And then once I got them in there, I was like, this is going to be so great. I'll hook up the stereo. I'm in my new fucking apartment. I made it back to Hollywood. Oh, I mean, you don't understand, man. Most people, once you get in the valley, you might not make it back. We're in that era where it's just getting so expensive. It's like New York and San Francisco. If you didn't get in early on, you got to be rich, man. And my whole thing was like, I don't even know how I'm going to afford this. Fuck, but I don't give a fuck what I got to do. I'm going to make this happen, It's just it's that important to me to be back in the mix, feel alive. Last night I was at the new apartment and I did a spot at the store. I walked there and I walked home and I was like, this is fucking heaven, man. I tell you, man, the closer you live to work, the better you're going to be in life, I think. It's just a better quality of living, not sitting in traffic and just getting steaming mad, Life is too short. Anyway, so yeah, I got some of the shit moved and wow. Today, I have an absolute dream guest. And I am not fucking kidding, man. People always ask me, who would be some of your dream guests? And I've had some dream guests on here, and there's still a list of them. I still, Sean Penn, Matt Dillon, Dave Chappelle. Names always come to mind. People that I have been blown away by their work. And today is one of those guests, man. And I am not taking that lightly, or I'm not I don't even know how to over exaggerate how incredible this guest was to me. It's Greg Dulli from the Afghan Whigs. And, you know, a lot of people always compliment me on all my great musical taste. They'll be like, God, you're so eclectic. You love all kinds of great music. And it was really my upbringing. And it was also what I related to with this man so much. Greg's music taste is unbelievable. And the first time I ever saw him live, I was like, oh, well, that's the fucking man right there. That's the man we all want to be right there, as he sat on stage and sang with a combination of rock, punk rock, soul, and R&B. He had mixed it all together in a blender and made it himself. And I was like, this is some of the most original shit I've ever seen. And we're talking about in the heyday of grunge, when you got Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and Nirvana and everybody that wanted to sound like that. On the other side of the coin, you had a band called the Afghan Whigs out of Cincinnati that were just fucking crushing it out there. If you don't know this band, you are about to strike gold here, because their body of work is incredible, and you will be deep in the rabbit hole. Hit up Congregation or Gentlemen, Black Love, or 1965. Even the new record is smoking in spades. This episode was made me so happy. It happened a couple days ago, right before my birthday. My birthday was on Saturday, and this is how cool Greg Dulli was. On Saturday, a guy who I just met texted me and said, happy birthday, my man. I was blown away. I've known people for hundreds of years that didn't text me happy birthday. Here's one of my favorite humans ever, artist, and just, texted me, happy birthday. So, wow, great episode. I'm going to get into it here. We cover all kinds of stuff. And, man, what a surprising conversation. Greg Dulli's even into Def Leppard, which was, I was like, wow, this is fucking cool. His music love is deep. Let's see here. I'm glad you guys loved all the No-Cow episode last week, the No-Cow bar with Daniel, and they've been cool enough to offer a deal for all my listeners, which is very, very cool. So I know a lot of you are interested in me, my diet and everything I've been eating to get in shape and get myself together. So here's the deal. If you go to their website, nocow.com, and you type in the coupon code TALK20, that's TALK, and then the number 20, 20, TALK20 for 20% off your order at nocow.com. Man, I mean, that's 20% off. Get a couple boxes of these and you can finally try them out and make it your go-to when you're at work, hungry. Don't go get a candy bar or something. Get a No-Cow bar and you'll start getting on track of not eating junk, you know. They're tasty and I eat 1 or 2 a day and they've saved me from eating garbage. So check that out. The code is TALK20. TALK20 at nocow.com. Thank you so much, No-Cow and Daniel. I love that episode. Also, special shout out to some donations this week. My man, Chris Ellinger. Thank you so much for pledging on patreon.com. If you want to donate, everybody, it's patreon.com/Dean Delray. Upcoming gigs. Let's see. Arizona House of Comedy, May 17th through the 20th. February 15th, Santa Barbara with Bill Burr at the Arlington Theater. Buffalo, I'm coming your way. Helium, March 8, 9, and 10. New York City, March 11th through the 25th at the Stand. And yeah, man, so there's some live shows out there and some more coming soon, I hope. I love all you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Dean Delray, and the link is in my Twitter feed. And thanks for leaving those reviews on iTunes and subscribing. We're already at 1,021 reviews. I love you guys. Thank you, Greg, for doing the show. Just an honor to have you on. Let's get into it right now, Mr. Greg Dulli. All right, here we are, another episode of Let There Be Talk. Fantastic guest today. Wow, man. Introduce yourself, my man. How are you, buddy?
I'm Robert De Niro.
Yes.
From New York City.
Unbelievable. The director, Robert De Niro, here today. Wow.
The great quarterback, Robert De Niro.
Is there a quarterback, Robert De Niro?
No. I probably. No, I have no idea.
It's so funny. De Niro, man, if you really think about it, at one point was an absolute god, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Taxi Driver, Deer Hunter, Raging Bull, you know, like those.
Mean Streets.
Mean Streets, of course. But, man, I mean, Raging Bull, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I watch those movies like once a year. And
The Godfather. Godfather 2.
Godfather 2.
You know, I got to say my favorite De Niro role is his character in Goodfellas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like it's very perfect. It's a perfect movie. Anyway,
yeah,
to me.
You know what's funny, man, is I've had so many arguments. I'm not a Goodfellas guy.
Wow.
I know, isn't it weird? Like,
yeah.
And I'm such a movie freak.
What don't you like about it?
I think that I love The Godfather 1 and 2 so much that I can't stop not comparing. You know,
different director,
totally
different time,
totally
different story,
right?
You know.
But I mean, to me, it's such the mob movie, The Godfather. To me, it's such a saga. It's such a family thing. You know, I don't know. It's such a masterpiece that it's hard for me to go to the other one. It feels a little wacky to me. But that's just me. Everybody's like, "You're crazy,"
right?
But you know, I love King of Comedy.
I love King of Comedy.
Yeah. I think the guy is, you know, About Schmidt was his last incredible one.
Who?
De Niro.
De Niro wasn't in.
I mean, who's in that? Wait,
Jack Nicholson.
No, Jack Nicholson. Yeah. Wait, what was the last one I loved that he was in? It was something I can't remember what it was, but I was
the last De Niro movie.
Yeah, that I thought was really good.
Midnight Run.
Midnight Run. That long ago. Hilarious. Oh man, how are you, buddy?
I'm good.
What a great crib you have
We're
here.
meeting for the first time.
We are meeting. I always think about that because when I think about when I'm going to see somebody that has had a massive impact to me in my life, I always go like, wow, this is going to be weird. You know, I'm meeting you and your music at a period of my life was so monumental that I've been trying to get you on the show for about a year. But for a while, sometimes I'm afraid to even interview those kind of people because you're just like, wow, this shit, there's so much I want to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. We're in Silver Lake, but I grew up in San Francisco Bay Area, and I always thought about Afghan Whigs as a San Francisco band because there was a time where you would walk in to a bar, do some day drinking, and there would be Nick Cave, Do You Love Me, like Red Right Hand going, The Gentleman Record, or Congregation, or Morphine, you know, Cure for Pain, all that shit, that era, you know, the other side of the grunge world, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you had grunge going heavy, but there was all this incredible music. And I related to you so much because I loved soul music. I was a Prince freak, you know, especially Sign of the Times.
Right.
I love James Brown, 71, love Power Peace, the Bootsy era, Curtis Mayfield.
Sure.
And when I went to see you, it was in 93 at the Music Hall, I was so blown away by you. I had never seen a front man like you, up to my whole life of seeing concerts. Because I was like, whoa, this guy is he's like Prince, but then he's like, it was like rock and soul.
Right.
Like for real. And it was just so like, wow, man, it knocked me out,
That would have been the Fillmore, probably.
No, that was the following year. You did the music hall, December 13th, 93. I still got the ticket stub.
What's the music hall? I don't even know.
Great American Music Hall is on
okay. Yes.
O'Farrell.
Yes.
It's 93.
It's Boz Scaggs' place.
That's Slim's.
He also owns Great American.
Oh, yeah, he owns both. Yeah, there you go.
Does, yeah.
But I see you, and I was just fucking floored. I couldn't believe it. And that record, to me, like, I don't know if that record haunts you as far as, like, a lot of people think it's the greatest out of the catalog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would take a greatest out of all mine anytime.
It's all, I mean, people like what they like, and I'm not trying to tell anyone what to like or not like. I have a complicated relationship with Gentlemen.
Yeah.
But it's very, to me, that record is a bunch of great songs on it. Some that I still really love playing. It's really mean, and to go there sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to go there tonight.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't feel like feeling that way. It's not like I don't go through the motions when I play. You know what I mean? Like I'm emotionally invested in the performance, and sometimes I'm there and sometimes I'm not. It's funny, like when we got back together in 2012. People were like, oh, because that was just going to be like. We were just going to review the catalog, essentially, and play things from up in it all the way up to 1965. And someone asked me, like, before we started even rehearsing, they're like, what song are you most looking forward to playing? And I said, Debonair.
Right.
And then once we got to rehearsing it and stuff, I didn't want to play it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't, I wasn't feeling it. But Gentlemen, the song in particular, which we had not played, like after the Gentleman tour, we never played it again. We didn't play it on the Black Love tour. We didn't play it on the 65 tour because that song in particular was just kind of like spiteful and mean. That one, on the other hand, I was all over that one. I really felt that one. So it's kind of surprising how a piece of you can kind of be like, eh. And so then we played it. We played them both, but like Debonair took a big back seat to that one. And the one that we consistently played from that record every night was Fountain in Fairfax.
Of course.
And that song's also mean, but really fun to play. It's a fun musical song. A lot of excellent screaming opportunities.
Oh, of course.
And very theatrical.
The vocal on that is spectacular.
I could approach that song like almost like an actor. You know what I mean? And Gentlemen, the song too. Debonair's a little more emotionally fraught. So, but then on this past tour,
In Spades tour,
the In Spades tour, Gentlemen, nope. Debonair made the comeback. So
yeah.
It just kind of depends. Where you're at as a person, I think, as far as like going back through your life and going, oh, I'll play this, I'll play that. So
lyrically, like what were you going through, like when you're writing that record? Because you're coming off like, I mean, the record before that, Turn on the Water and that kind of stuff. It's kind of got some mean stuff on there, but then you get to this record, it really feels like a saga.
Those records were back to back. Congregation and Gentlemen came out within 18 months of each other. They were written concurrently. That was probably like the most prolific time of mine, certainly the band up till that point, lives. I was breaking up. It was a slow corrosion and breakup of a relationship, and
A long one?
yes, yeah, like it was. They say that the breakup had begun on Congregation,
Right,
and dragged through into Gentlemen, and unhealthy for both people, like myself and her. So that's why sometimes I just
you don't want to go there.
I don't want to go there. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
That relationship still sticks with you, because I still have one relationship. I think that if I could mend it and fix it, I would. And it was probably 30 years ago, but it was like 7 years. I would try to do it again.
Right.
Does it remind you of bad times, good times?
it's not even about the person anymore.
Right.
If it's about the person, it's about me, and that version of me is not someone that I want to hang out with every night. You know what I mean? But I'm also aware that people love that record, and I don't want to say that I owe anybody anything, but I do, like, I'm considerate of the attendees of the performance. That's what I'm saying.
I'd tell you, man, it's really, I played music 25 years, and to have a record that has a thread all the way through and a complete fucking vibe is so hard to do. And I get what you're talking about, as far as even as me as a listener, sometimes I don't know when I want to throw that record on. It's not just a record you just throw on while you're cruising around the house, because
Right.
it's going to grab you. And to me, it really throws me into a time of, like, pounding up and down Haight Street, doing some day drinking, lots of drug, lots of blurry times in my life, and some dark sides. But I do have this fascination with extreme dark sides of life.
Sure.
Because you can slip into it and sometimes maybe not get out of it. You know what I mean?
There are records by great groups and great songwriters and performers that in the midst of their catalog, like I'll acknowledge the greatness of it. I'll give you a perfect example. I really like Radiohead.
Yeah.
Perhaps their most the record that people go to is OK Computer.
Right. I always think it's the Bends for me.
Yeah. Well, I love the Bends. It's in Rainbows for me, which
Right.
is like a very but OK Computer always made me feel tense.
Yeah.
Claustrophobic, probably exactly the way it was intended.
A little methy,
But,
right?
But for that, I never found myself putting that record on. Just like I never felt like, I love Pink Floyd. Animals in particular will make me feel anxiety-ridden, claustrophobic. Things I don't necessarily want to, like, seek out. It's like, I'm not going to say, hey, Dean, come over and watch The Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, great movie.
Yeah.
Excellent movie. Great performances. Really beautiful, beautiful to look at. Sad. An elegy on, lost innocence and the death of the American dream and, the bullshit in Vietnam and all that. It's amazing, amazing film. But goddamn, it's soul sucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm just not like, it's hard to get psyched up for that. That said, for whatever reason, when I woke up today, I wanted to hear Nebraska by Springsteen.
Bruce.
So I put it on and I listened to it twice. And I'm like, wow, it made me feel good. And it's I wouldn't call that a feel good record.
Yeah.
But it actually did make me feel good today. So, apples and oranges, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to have, like I said, to have art that makes you feel something is what makes something such a classic. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a million records in your collection. Some you just throw on like a Def Leppard High and Dry. Just throw that on for some fun.
Now I'm going to tell you something.
Yep.
I made a Def Leppard playlist 3 days ago.
I love it.
And
Greg Dulli rocks Def Leppard.
I do. My playlist consists of only songs from the first 4 records. The most songs are from High and Dry.
Yes.
The second most songs are from On Through the Night.
Unbelievable.
And then there's 2 each from Pyromania and Hysteria.
Right.
Yeah.
What are the 2 from Hysteria?
Animal and
Love Bites?
And Hysteria. I'm not a Love Bites guy.
Wow.
I'm
such a ballad guy.
Yeah, I like. Okay, I'll tell you what the songs are there. It's Animal, Hysteria, Photograph, Stage Fright, Let It Go, Saturday Night, High and Dry.
Awesome.
Another Hit and Run.
Yeah.
On Through the Night, which is not on Through the Night.
Right.
It's on High and Dry.
A lot like If You Want Blood.
Yeah, exactly. And Houses of the Holy.
Yeah.
Bring It On the Heartbreak and Switch 625, the
smoking
instrumental at
Love
the end.
it.
Steve Clark at his best. And then Wasted, Rock Brigade, and Overture, the song at the end, which is really pretty Dungeons and Dragons-y.
Yeah.
But still beautiful. You know, it reminded when as I was listening to it, I'm like, this is a bunch of teenage kids listening to More Than a Feeling by Boston.
Absolutely.
That's what that song is. So,
are you a 70s rock guy? Like growing up, you grew up in Cincinnati, right?
Hamilton, Ohio, which is about 25 miles from Cincinnati. Yeah.
I was recently in Cincinnati, and it's so funny. I was doing comedy in that theater there by the ballpark, an old theater. It's pretty nice. I forget the name, but it's really beautiful. And as I was there, all that came to me was Afghan Whigs. It was so weird. Like to me, Cincinnati, Ohio, was that riot during the Who, and
Right.
Afghan Whigs. That's really what Cincinnati, Ohio is to me. It's like I don't really have any memories of that city or anything, even touring back in the day or anything. But when you're growing up, are you like a 70s rock guy back then?
Those are all the concerts I went to. I went to hard rock concerts.
Yeah.
You know, like that's who came through town. I saw Judas Priest 8 times.
Yeah.
Maiden.
Wow.
UFO. Uriah Heep.
Yes.
Rainbow. Let me see.
You see Zeppelin?
Never saw Zeppelin.
Me either.
Never saw Zeppelin.
How old are you?
I am 52.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm 52 Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this interview is like a birthday present to me.
Well, happy birthday.
I'm like, wow, dream guest on my birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
When was your birthday Saturday?
February 3rd, yeah.
right.
The day the music died.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'll tell you a weird thing. Last month, I did the spot where Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and Big Bopper at the Surf Ballroom.
Oh, wow.
I did that with
Clear
Bill Burke.
Lake, is that what that is?
Yeah. And we flew into the same airport on a shitty prop plane.
Wow.
It was freezing cold.
Wow.
We were in that dressing room. It's got autographs up on it, you know, like Merle Haggard and all that shit. And it was pretty spooky to do that room because I didn't die in the same year, but, you know, it was the same day. And to be there, pretty crazy. Yeah. But you're 52. You never saw Zeppelin like me, I think.
I never saw Skinner either.
Me either. Those are the two.
But I did see the Rossington Collins Band.
Oh, wow.
Who were fabulous. I saw them twice. The great thing about living where I did was Hamilton was halfway between Cincinnati and Dayton. In Dayton, there was a place called Hara Arena that everybody came back through. So back in those days, like the circuit.
So two times.
They'd come to Cincinnati first. 6 months later, they'd come back through Dayton. So you'd get to see them twice. Or if you missed them there, you'd get to see them at the other place. Oh, so I saw Sabbath. I saw Blue Oyster Cult.
So, on the Black and Blue tour?
I saw the Black and Blue tour.
Wow.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was the Dio Sabbath.
Yeah.
And that was the Fire of Unknown Origin.
Yeah, great record.
Burning for You.
Yeah, great
Joan
record.
Crawford also on that thing. I saw Blue Oyster Cult 3 times, I think. I saw Queen.
Wow.
What
on the Flash tour?
No, I saw Queen on The Game.
Oh, The Game. Oh, what a great Dragon Attack.
Yeah.
How great is that fucking song?
Yeah.
It's so underrated. It's like dun 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 dun. When it comes on, you're like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, great. I mean, one of the greatest live bands I ever saw. So I loved UFO. They were maybe my favorite of all of those hard rock bands.
Schenker, man, there's something about Schenker. Even today, like I'm going to go see Schenker next month just to go see, because he's going to do all 3 singers, Gary Barden, Macaulay, and what's the other guy, Graham Bonnet. He's going to do all 3 singers. I saw Schenker many, many times, and there's no one like that guy.
He's insane.
He is insane.
I mean, I just read the Pete Way book.
Oh, wow. How is that?
It's good. And, a guy who, if a guy in my band walked out in the middle of the show, in the middle of a song, fuck you, man. Like, I don't care how good you are.
Yeah.
I will never talk to you again. I mean, unless like you came back to me and were like, hey, here's my mentally ill.
Yeah. Here's my papers, my service dog.
I'm all of that.
Yeah.
You're really gonna, I mean, it's just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And so kind of like, I don't know. I'm not an MSG fan. Like, he needed the structure.
I get it.
Of Way and Mogg and Paul Raymond for those great songs. But that said, I made a 13-song Def Leppard playlist. I made a 26-song UFO.
Wow. My favorite, Lights Out. I think it's the absolute masterpiece. And Love to Love Me.
Love to Love You.
Yeah, the ballad. But Lights Out, when that comes on, if I'm in the car and it comes on, I lose my mind, man.
I'm gonna send you these playlists.
All right.
The UFO playlist is mine starts with Natural Thing off of No Heavy Petting, which is just an amazing riff. One of Schenker's great riffs.
Yeah.
And aside from his solo playing, that dude was a great riff writer. I don't know if he still does or not, and I don't even know. Is he going to do UFO songs?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he does. Who sings those?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know, because when I've seen him, it would be with one singer, and the guy, whoever was singing, would sing them.
Right.
But the first 2 Schenker records are, of course, they're not UFO, but man, Armed and Ready. And, that shit, Into the Arena and all that stuff, that stuff's some fucking dark, weird rock. And it's really like super original, man.
Right.
Like you hear it.
I'd have to revisit. I had those records.
Yeah.
And checked them out. But I'm such a
UFO guy.
I'm a Phil Mogg loyalist.
Yeah.
I also really like Paul Chapman, who took his place, Tonka.
Yeah. And, I saw the Mechanics tour.
Yeah, the Mechanics tour. Well, like during the Strangers of the Night thing, Chapman also played on that tour. He was in the band. They had both guitar players.
Oh, on the live record?
Yeah, so because at that point the overdubbing was so much so that they needed that extra guitar.
Oh wow.
For when he went off, rolling on. I think that was before. That was right when Paul Raymond, like, they brought him in for right around then for that exact same thing. But he was playing. There were a lot of keyboards then too, so they needed that extra.
Yeah, my buddy played keyboards with Schenker, and Schenker punched him right in the eye.
Wow!
At one of the last nights of the tour, black eye,
on stage,
backstage,
wow.
Like, you fucker, boom, punched him. It was like what a maniac.
one of the greatest guitar players I ever saw.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, man, that walking off stage, I got no respect for that.
Yeah.
I really do not, you know.
At what point are you're growing up in Cincinnati and you're into 70s rock? At what point do you get into like soul? Is it
But
Purple Rain?
I always was like, see, I was never, I like this and I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know, I remember like getting to college and like, you know, like hanging out with punk rock people and, you know, and they're like, you know, why are you listening to Earth, Wind and Fire? And I'm like, cause it's fucking killer. Dude.
Yeah.
You know, why can't I listen to The Damned, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Montrose?
Yeah. I'm the same way, dude.
Why can't I because it's all, and Patsy Cline.
Yeah.
And Miles Davis. There's all kinds of music. Like I'm not gonna get cornered into some little thing. So my love of soul music was always there. Like it was the first music I heard growing up. My mom's 17 when I was born.
Wow.
I had, you know, she listened to Motown.
Yeah.
And so I had all her Stevie Wonder records and Temptations records and Marvin Gaye records and Supreme records. All of those were the first. I just basically inherited them from my mom. And I would just sit and listen to them. And I love those records. I still love them.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever, 52 years later, I'm, you know, all of this stuff like stays with me. I'm completely omnivorous. So I never turned my back on the things I liked just to like a new thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Me either, because I thought like at the same time that this great 70s rock was out, Earth, Wind and Fire, Lakeside,
Slave,
yeah,
Ohio Players, LTD.
Oh man, right?
You know, yeah.
That shit was like, and it made me love the bass.
Yeah.
You know, the bass guitar. I didn't even know what the fuck. I knew Gene Simmons played the bass, but I didn't give a fuck about bass till all of a sudden this music comes in.
Right.
And then once I get hit with like Curtis Mayfield, you know, Kung Fu and all this shit, I'm like, wow. I mean, to me, I was really hooked. There was years where I was just listening to that Curtis Mayfield, you know, box set only.
Yeah.
Like I was a lunatic.
The white one.
Yeah.
Just his picture on it.
That would just be it, you know? And then Purple Rain comes. And, you know, fuck all the hits. To me, what really smashed me was the beautiful ones.
Yeah.
The scene in the movie and that song. And then it's over with for me. I'm completely hooked on Prince.
I saw the 1999 tour when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And
great band at that time.
That was the Revolution. The Time opened. Vanity 6 was first on, so it was like that great moment. But like that was when I noticed, like, I'm like, man, that dude can shred. He's a killer guitar player.
Yeah.
You know, like, and a great dancer. And then, you know, like he brought Jill Jones up in the bed up there, and, you know, like they simulated sex in the bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, you know. Purple Rain changed my life, though. Like that every song on that record, I love Beautiful Ones, but every single song, Take Me With You.
Oh, I Would Die For You.
I Would Die For You. Amazing. When when Twilight Singers did Blackberry Bell, Apollonia sings.
Wow.
On the record, and at the end of Teenage Wristband, I asked her to say thank you, like she says in Take Me With You. So give that a listen. She did it. As it's fading out, you hear it, and it was like a dream come true for me. I mean, I went and saw Purple Rain the night it came out.
Yeah.
And then I went back the next afternoon and saw it again.
Wow.
And I've seen it, I don't know, man, 50 times at least, you know. As recently as this last tour, I watched it on the tour bus.
I went the night he died. They played it at the theaters, like out of nowhere, just over at Century City. That like the next day, they had a special night, and I went in there and watched it, and it just hammered me. like like a punch in the face. It's still. I just recently went to his house like 6 months ago,
Right.
and
Did you do the tour?
well, yeah, I did the tour, and I had met Prince before. He was such there was no one really, I think, ever like him, and what I thought was interesting was when I saw you live, you weren't like this guy trying to be this soul dude. Like there was a lot of guys like Dan Reed Network, these guys that would come out and play this soul rock, But when I saw you, I could see the Motown influences, David Ruffin's, of course, that kind of stuff. But it was you. And I was like, God damn, this is some next level shit, man. Because really, nobody was really doing anything like you guys during that grunge era. We got Sub Pop, we got Seattle's booming and stuff. But what you were doing was just so insane. And even later when you get Sean Smith singing,
Right.
and you're really getting the soul going. You got clavinet going in the band. I was like, now this is some next level shit. That was the Fillmore the following year, But, to take that stuff and be able to make it yours is really, really interesting, Like, it's so hard.
Well, it's, when the press started to amplify the soul angle, I'm like, I'll go back to what I said earlier. It's a piece of me. Hard rock is a piece of me. Country music is a piece of me. Hip hop is a piece of me. Jazz is a piece of me. Like, I always use the analogy of, a bird will make a nest with anything it can find to build the nest.
That's amazing.
Some string, some cloth, some like whatever I am, the actualization of all my experiences, and I bring all of it with me. So I'm not, maybe I'll do something that I saw somebody that I like do, or if that's James Brown, but I'm not gonna there was a period when we even did my friend Steve was in the band, and we would do the Morris and Jerome act.
Oh, I love it.
We would
Jerome with the mirror and shit.
We would do the mirror. It's just and all that is just having a good time.
Right.
And everyone's in on the gag.
Right.
We've all seen the movie. You know what we're doing. It's not like, oh, hey, I'm Mr. Soul. You know what I mean?
Well, that's funny because I saw Jeff Buckley, and a lot like you, the lyrics and the content is dark as fuck. Mm-hmm. But what's going on is there's some humor in there.
He was a very funny guy.
He was.
I met Jeff 3 or 4 times. Really funny, really, really super sweet, kind guy, and but incredibly funny. And I saw him really early on, before he got signed.
Right.
And when he was playing Shanae. And there'd be like you, Jeff Buckley, his press guy, and 150 hot chicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was, he was, the ladies loved Jeff Buckley.
Yeah, oh yeah,
For excellent reason. The record he was working on before he died was, an incredibly soulful record. Everybody Here Loves You. I mean, that's a soul song.
Yeah.
Morning Theft, I think, is a soul song. He was down in Memphis tapping into that vibe, and I made a couple records in Memphis, and it's impossible not to feel the ghosts of what went on down there. At the same time, I mean, this dude, he was covering Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, also covering Led Zeppelin. And doing it well, and doing it originally and in his own voice. So that's what I think. To me, soul music is. It's not a, it's not a genre. It's not a
costume.
It's not a costume. It's not a color. It's a feeling. And that's that's what I tried to bring to songwriting, performing, making records, my everyday life. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's I mean, it's definitely comes through loud and clear. Today it's the 30th. It's the last day of the Beatles' last concert, 69. Today is the anniversary.
oh, wow.
It was also the first time that I ever, not that day, but later when I saw the show as someone older, that I saw a Rosewood Telly.
Right.
George Harrison played the Rosewood Telly.
Uh-huh.
The only other guy I ever know to play it is you.
Right.
Was that because of the Beatles, or did you happen just to buy that thing?
I saw that there was a record store in New York called Manny's.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
That's not there anymore. And I went looking for a guitar, and I saw that guitar, and I was like, that's the guitar George Harrison plays on the roof at
Rooftop concert.
the rooftop concert. And I'm like that guitar is beautiful and really heavy. One of the heaviest guitars.
Oh, yeah. Like a bowling ball.
Yeah, like it's really heavy. And but I played it, and I was like, I'll take it.
Is it an actual 69?
No,
It's a Japanese one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Great
Japanese,
guitar, though.
Japanese, great. I haven't played it in. I got this red Telecaster at in Chicago. I'm always blanking on
Chicago Music Exchange?
Chicago Music
Yep.
Exchange. I got this red, like just, like cherry red Telecaster there at the 65 tour with like it. I'm like, wow, this guitar is like, it became the new guitar. Then I brought that guitar into the first couple Twilight Singers records, and I played that from like 98 to probably 2005. And then 2006, when we were making Powder Burns, we were down in New Orleans, and there was Katrina, and there was no way to get in or out, really. So I was playing semi-hollow bodies.
Yeah, 335s now.
I was not playing a 335 yet. I was playing, oh God, I wish I had this knowledge. I'd have to.
Like a casino style or something with P90s?
And it wasn't a Gretsch. It was, it's the guitar Leo Nocentelli plays from the Meters.
What drew you to the Telly?
Okay. The Telly,
Bruce?
no. What drew me to the Telly was Rick McCullum, the first
Of course.
guitar player in the Whigs. He had an extra guitar.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have a guitar. I learned how to play guitar. John Curley loaned me a Hagstrom 12-string, and we took 6 strings off, and I just played 6 strings.
Were you like just a front man at first?
I was just a front man at first, and then I started playing guitar because I got tired of like humming my ideas to the guitar player. This was in the band that I was in with John before the Whigs. It was called the Black Republicans.
Right.
And the final Black Republican show Rick played at, and Rick was playing the guitar that I ended up later playing, which was a bowling ball Telecaster. So I started playing Telecasters because that was the guitar that was available for me to play. It wasn't like, I really want to play. I didn't know shit about it. I just, I needed a guitar.
I mean, Joe Strummer played only Telly.
Sure.
And to me, it was Joe Strummer and Bruce, and those were the Tellys. You know what I mean?
I loved playing them. When it came time to rehearse for the Powder Burns shows, I pulled out that red Telecaster and started playing. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
These songs don't work.
You need more meat.
Yeah, these songs don't work on this guitar. And that's when I called him, and he was like, yeah, man, you don't want to use that guitar because it had a Bigsby on it, and they go out of tune really, and I don't play a whammy bar anyway. So,
Yeah.
He's like, you should get a 335. So I got this 1969 Guild Starfire.
Oh, Guild Starfire. Yeah. Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now I have I have a guild also now.
Was it weird to you to start playing humbuckers? Because all of a sudden it seems easier. You can just kind of hit one note and let it roll as you sing.
Yeah, it was really like, I mean, it just like the bigness of the sound. Like I was like, wow, this is,
Yeah.
It really kind of fit me as a rhythm player better. And now it's like I'm entering my 12th year as a 335 guy. Like I have I have 5 335s now.
Yeah.
I went from being a Fender guy to a Gibson guy, and it's nothing, I still play like my, I still play Fender products. And
Right.
I have a P bass but yeah, it's really this black 335 I have is like my baby. It's like, it's what that Rosewood Telly was,
Yeah. I saw you playing on Kimmel. I think it was the Kimmel show.
Black 335.
Yeah, you're playing, and I was just kind of like, whoa, man, he's 335 guy now. I always loved 335. I love the blonde one with the dot neck. Mm-hmm. That to me is like when they get all faded and crazy, and they just sound amazing. To me, they were really always kind of hard to play rhythm for me because I couldn't control it. I'm more of a strummy singer-songwriter player.
Right.
So when I would play it would just be like, it would just, I couldn't, keep it in control, but I could see the easiness of it, which was great. I didn't have to fight it all the time.
Yeah.
You just got to learn it. It's just a different animal.
I'm trying to, occasionally I'll play solos on records, and if I know I'm going to play a solo, like I'll get an SG, a Les Paul.
Yeah.
But my hands are too big to play a Les Paul.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that neck is so small. I can't get with that. The 335 it's just, that's the axe for me now. Or the Guild Starfire.
You care about amps at all, or is it just
I play Mesa Boogies.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
And I started playing Mesas in '96. Like I had rigged amps I had a Music Man with a 112, and then I tore the brains out of a Fender Twin and just used it as a slave amp to the Music Man. And ran a wire down to it.
Just a speaker cabinet, you mean?
Just as a speaker cabinet.
Wow.
Yeah. And then one night in Florida, the Music Man caught on fire during the show.
For real?
Like on fire, yeah. I remember it went out a couple times. I was like, what? And then all of a sudden, like the audience started going, yeah. And I'm like, and I turned around. I'm like, whoa, there's fire is coming out of the hole. And I'm like, all right, this is...
It's amazing how many people's amps caught on fire, over the years.
I've had 2 amps catch on fire.
It's insane, right?
Yeah. It's a bummer, but it's also super cool.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The first time my amp caught on fire was in Provo, Utah, in a record store. And the fire department came. It was amazing. And that was great because it was an in-store and,
Yeah. In-store.
It was over quick.
You're out of there.
Like, yeah.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
And they got a good story to tell.
Yeah, they got a good story, and I got some free records. And but I got also at Chicago Music Exchange.
Yeah.
That's where I tried out it was called a dual rectifier.
Oh yeah.
And now I play Lone Stars. But I found my sound. When I played that thing, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
You are the thing. And it worked with Tellys, and it works with 335s. I can't, like, I tried to play Marshalls. I cannot make a Marshall.
I can't figure it out either.
I can't make it sound good. It's just not my bag. I tried high watts. I tried orange. I tried everything. What's the Voxes?
Oh yeah,
I've
AC30, AC15.
I've made those work before. That's okay. And I can even, with the right pedals, I can make a Fender Twin do its thing too. But man, like the Mesa Boogie experience, it's like somebody went into my brain and was like, this is the sound this dude is looking for. And I've been playing it now for over 20 years.
What a great company, too, up in Petaluma.
Yeah.
Like the first boutique amp, I call them, because they were making these fucking amps for, like, Grateful Dead and shit back in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And that guy, I think his name's Doug West, the owner, or one of those guys. That thing is a behemoth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, here it is 100 years later. They got all these great amps. Metallica really put them on the map for a while. It was, the triple rectifier was the metal amp. But, yeah, man, I love when people, their success story like that, made in America, kind of stuff like that.
They, just anything I ask them to do, like, I got them to make the grills with the artwork from the record.
Oh, rad! In spades.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
They wrap. They wrap. When we came back, I was like, I want white amps. They're like, we'll wrap them white.
Wow.
I'm like, I want white grills, and they're like, you get white grills, and like just whatever I've asked them to do, they just do it.
That's great.
And it's in whenever there's a problem, they take it in, they fix it, they give me something to. I could not be happier with a relationship with a company than the relationship we have with Mesa Boogie. It's, John Curley played Galleon Krugers and
Ampegs, all that.
Ampegs and all that, and finally I'm like, dude, you should give this a ride. And now he's in the gang too. So we are a full Mesa band,
Is he still in Cincinnati?
He's the only one still in Cincinnati. John's in Cincinnati. John Skibick's in Morristown, New Jersey. Rick Nelson is in New Orleans. And Patrick and I are here.
What happened to Rick? I don't know what happened.
Rick McCollum?
Yeah. I all of a sudden I was like, whoa, where's Rick at?
Rick's just...
Did you fire him? Did he quit?
Really neither one.
Yeah.
It just sort of, relationships have shelf lives.
I get it.
They do. And
especially in bands.
Yeah. I mean, and a band is very much like a marriage. If people aren't on the same page, it's impossible to go on. And Rick was always just very withdrawn, and became more so as time went on. And I really just don't think, like, I kind of thought when we got back together that it would be that it would make him happy, but nothing really seemed to make him happy. And so we just
right,
shook hands and walked away.
Does he still play, or?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to Rick in 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it tough to replace him? Because, that is a sound.
Well,
that is a big sound.
So when we got back together, like, Rick was, I wasn't confident in his ability to cover it, so we brought in Dave Rosser.
Gotcha. Why was it like is his plane has it gone to shit? Was he drugs?
Again, like I really don't know.
Right.
Or you know, I was in the same room and I couldn't tell you. But Dave Rosser, who had played with me in the Twilight Singers and the Gutter Twins and on solo tours, and was, you know, absolutely, you know, one of my best friends. He came in and sort of glued us all together and gave me the confidence that we'd be able to perform all of these songs. So, you know, Rosser became the de facto replacement for Rick, oddly enough, and then John Skibick, who I had played with both of those guys in the Twilight Singers, and then, you know, I'm sure you heard that Rosser passed away, of course, in June, and we operate as a 5-piece
right
now, and yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, I completely forgot all about this, but at the time I was going back reading stuff. That fight in Texas,
right,
when the guy attacks you,
right.
I mean, that has to be one of the craziest things that at the time, you know, that I had heard of happening. You know, a guy, an employee at a venue attacks the talent. You know,
well, there had been an altercation earlier in the afternoon,
right?
And
you guys had an argument.
We had an argument. It wasn't an argument as much as it was. I mean, you know, Alvin Youngblood Hart and Steve Myers are African American gentlemen, and they were with me when we arrived, and we were trying to get in, and we were knocking on the door, and the two fellas who answered the door took exception with how we were knocking on the door,
right,
and then took exception with the race of my two friends, and stated in a very, you know, undiplomatic way how
said some racist shit.
They absolutely said some racist shit, and that, I mean, I went all up on one of the guys. Like,
yeah. Are you like that? Are you like that? Because I had heard that you fought Chris Robinson once. Is that real?
I never fought Chris Robinson. We discussed fighting, but we never fought. And I love Chris, by the way. And he's, you know, we got in an argument about the Civil War.
Unbelievable.
Of all things.
Yeah.
It was, you know, I mean, I was just fucking around.
Yeah.
And Steve, their drummer,
Gorman,
was there too. And who I, you know, saw last time I was in Nashville, and like,
love him.
Loves Steve.
Yeah.
First of all, one of the greatest drummers ever, but really funny, great guy. And it was in England. We're drinking. I mean, and I had hung out with Chris like several times when he lived up like off of Kings Road up there, and you know, big Black Crowes fan.
Me too.
I mean, just a great, you know, I was like, wow, I do get to see the faces. That's amazing.
Right.
I mean? And thank you.
Yeah.
But just drunk.
Yeah, drunk.
Civil War talk. Civil War. He's from Georgia. I'm from Ohio, and I'm just like, yeah, we won. You know?
I love how like I would never even think about that stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like drinking, I'm more like, dude, what about Van Halen too?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Love Van Halen too, by the way. But yeah, there was never any fight between me.
So back to the Texas thing.
But, you know, I mean, so it just, you know, and then I asked for them to be removed, but I didn't know that one of the guys who was still there that was one of those guys was his brother. So they let him back in, and they waited for me. And,
Wow.
And they...
I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was back when MTV was still on.
Right.
You know, and I was like, Greg Dulli attacked in club in coma.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I mean, it was just like, you were in a coma for a while, right?
Couple days, yeah.
Couple days. Yeah. And did it take a while to come out? Like, were you foggy for a while?
I lost my sense of smell for a couple years.
Wow. No smell. Like,
No smell.
Like you're eating shit, you don't taste it?
Correct. Very weird. I had to... We went back out on tour, but I had to relearn the songs.
Wow.
I went to Hawaii. I went out to Hawaii for like a month, just to kind of, you know, it was winter time, so I went out and just, you know, relearned songs, and I did an edit of a song with Bob Rock, which was pretty amazing. He's a good guy.
Did you work with Bob Rock?
We did one song.
Oh, what one?
Yeah, 66.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he actually helped me. He actually helped me rearrange it, and we do whenever we play that song live. It's the arrangement that Bob and I worked out at his studio.
He gets such a bad rap for that Black album, and I think it's one of the greatest records ever done.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, he made great sounding records.
Oh, the Colt. You know?
The Colt, the Motley Crue record.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they're all great, and I forget the name of his band. He was in a band. You saw Valley Girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
Eyes of a Stranger.
Yeah.
That's his band.
Yeah.
And and I was like, oh my God, because I saw the Valley Girl record on his wall, and I'm like, what's up with that? And he's like, oh, remember that song? And I'm like, dude. He's a cool cat. Cool guy, Bob Rock. So yeah, so I my memory was, you know, skewed, and
that's fucking scary,
and all
man.
that. But yeah, I mean, you know, again, it'll be 20 years ago in December. So
Wow.
And
I mean, that's like some old school shit, like back when like Chuck Berry would tour in the 50s.
Right.
And, you know, they'd have to fist fight.
I could not believe that it was, that I heard that they, and I mean, you know, to their face.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm pretty blown away by full-blown racism.
Yeah.
It's 2018. I grew up in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and I truly do feel kind of like I'm just dumb when it comes to what goes on with that, because when you're touring, a lot of times you don't really get to the people. As far as you're on a bus, you get into the venue, you do the gig, and you meet some people, meet and greet and stuff. But as a guy now touring as a comedian, it's interesting because you're in a town for 2 or 3 days now,
right.
And you're out and you're eating, and you'll just I think sometimes by my appearance, people will say racist shit, and it really knocks me out. Knocks me back, really. Like, wow, what the fuck? I mean, you know, I spent some time in Shreveport doing a film, and I was there 2 months,
right.
Working on this movie, and Ice Cube was the star, and I just had a small role in it. But to see some shit that goes down in these, you know, middle America, or not even middle America, just pockets anywhere.
Sure.
You know, it's just kind of crazy.
There's pockets of it in California. You know, you get outside.
100%.
You get outside L.A. County.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, or even inside it, like it, you know, I spend a lot of time, you know, I have a place in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And, you know, New Orleans, you know, white people are the minority.
Right. Absolutely. Same with Shreveport.
Yeah. So you need to, if you've got a problem, you should probably get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's.
This ain't for you.
Yeah. I mean, this is go to fucking Idaho or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nothing against Idaho, because I'm sure there's
Yeah, go to Utah.
plenty of cool people there. But it's like, if you don't want to be around this, if you got a problem with that, you're the problem.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
I don't understand it though. It's so weird to me. Like, I just don't get where people have time on what religion you are,
yeah,
or your sexuality, or your race.
Yeah.
I just
mind your own business. Don't hurt people.
Yeah.
Don't fuck people over.
That's it.
And you're cool.
Yeah. That's it, man.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Treat everybody with respect. It's really easy. It is so easy to get along.
It really is. And everybody brings something so cool to the plate, to the table. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everything, like, especially music. And, music is such a multicultural thing. I couldn't imagine just being like, I only like white music.
Right.
Like, wow, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to, what we said earlier. I mean, there's two kinds of music, good music and I don't need to listen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really the two kinds, like there's plenty of music that's not my bag, but it might be your bag.
Right. Right.
And I appreciate that. And sometimes but I certainly appreciate and acknowledge your right to like it, play it, whatever. Unless you're like into some like fucking, hateful shit or something like that.
Yeah.
Like go just listen to it by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. How did you get involved with Ted Demme? I know you're a big film guy. You wrote some scripts, right, and stuff?
I've written some scripts. Ted was introduced to me by my ex-girlfriend. They went to high school together, and we met at a Indian restaurant in New York City. And we ended up like hanging out all night talking about baseball. And I'm sure this happened to you. There's a few people in my life where, like, you meet someone and like immediately you're friends. Like there's no like getting to know them.
Yeah,
you just there you are.
It was like Lanigan. He's at my house. Didn't even know him. Next thing you know, I was like, oh, well, this guy will be in my life for the rest of my life.
Exactly. So Ted was that type of person for me, and really like an older brother, not that much older. He's like 1 or 2 years older than me, and I knew him as soon as I met him. I was like, and it was sort of like the river was flowing, and all of a sudden he's in the river next to me, and I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
So really talented guy. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you about Ted. Just loved everything and everybody. Like really like. Watching him on a film set was amazing. He knew everybody's name. He knew all the PA's names.
Wow.
He knew all the craft service people, and everybody got treated the same. Everybody got a smile. Everybody got acknowledged. Everybody was part of the success of the thing. That's leadership, man. That is how, that being all inclusive, that's how you get shit done.
Right.
When everybody is made to feel, because frankly, everyone is a part of it.
Oh, totally.
And when you go into any kind of experience of a day, you're like, like when we go to do a concert or you go to do a performance or a film or whatever, that day, go be at your best, not just your talent, but your humanity, because we're all here together. Getting along is the way.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. And I never understood the rock star thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like such a blessing to be where you're at. There is some fun to being rock star, like the craziness of the drugs and everything. But the dick side of it, I never understood.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no reason to be a dick ever.
Right.
Like, when you first noticed like a dick, it's probably at school, and somebody's just mean to you or treats you like a lesser person, or I can't stand that, and
Right.
and if I can't share that with you and we can't come to a common understanding, then I'm just gonna I'm gonna walk away from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love to get along with people. I don't love a lot of people.
Yeah.
I have a real small
I hear you.
circle of people.
Is it a trust thing? Because to me,
Yeah.
I really let people in, and then they let me down, and I'm really bummed.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll do anything for the person, but when it's a one-way street, I'm
Yeah.
pretty. And I can see the small group of friends I have still from years and years and years ago are there because of they're gold to me.
Yeah.
And in this town, it's really interesting because most of it's a lot of shake and fake, which I get.
Right.
I don't ever knock it because this town is just all about biz.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really my biz is kind of done here.
Right.
Here's what I do. I play music. I own some bars. That's my business. I'm not trying to hustle or now I'm just living now.
Right.
So I'm not I don't have I don't have an agenda.
Right.
So if I'm talking to you or hanging out with you, I'm doing what I want to do.
Right.
I'm not trying to get. I'm just. Nobody's really got anything that I need. I just get it myself.
Yeah. You're self-made.
Yeah. So that for me, and if I notice somebody rolling up on me,
Like if somebody's trying to work.
yeah, I mean, I have a pretty. I'm pretty instinctive, and intuitive, and and I'm pretty good with I can force field a motherfucker too. You know what I mean? I'm like, zzz.
I would think that you're kind of intimidating too. So somebody would be like, "Oh fuck, I don't want to go bother this guy."
I don't want to I don't want to appear, but I just have a for instance, how many times do you go to a grocery store or CVS or something, and there's a solicitor out front.
Yeah.
They want
Oh yeah.
they want something from
My
you.
phone goes up on that one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I get on the phone and guess what? I'm on the phone on the way out too.
Yeah.
And you don't want to interrupt somebody on the phone, I clock right away.
Yeah.
And then if I don't have the phone, I will just say, I'm sorry, I'm not available for a solicitation. That I didn't come here to be solicited.
Right.
And I appreciate that you're doing your job, but I'm not going to be part of your experience today.
Yeah.
So, but good luck. Yeah.
Yeah. You're here. I'm at your place, and it's an incredible place. When I first moved to LA 17 years ago, I lived right around the corner on Redisdale, overlooking the reservoir. Spaceland was red hot. The Strokes, yes, mm-hmm. Kings of Leon, everything was busting out. I was like, holy shit, this is rock and roll was alive and well in this neighborhood. I don't know how long you've lived in this neighborhood, but what made you land in this neighborhood? Of course, you have a bar here called Shortstop. Now you have 3 bars?
I have 4.
4 bars.
Yeah, 2 in New Orleans and 2 here.
Unbelievable. Yeah. What made you land here?
In Silver Lake?
Yeah.
Well, I lived in Echo Park.
Okay.
I've always lived on the east side. I've lived,
East side's amazing.
I first moved to Los Angeles in 1984.
Whoa, really?
Yep, when I was 19. And I lived in Koreatown.
Wow, in 84?
In 84, yeah. And
like pre-everything.
Oh yeah, it was during the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Oh, that's a famous time in LA because LA is a complete fucking crack zone, war zone. Yeah. And then the Olympics come and they clean up and they get rid of everyone.
Right.
So it fools you. You're like, God, LA is rocking.
Right.
And then you move here.
So I lived there.
What'd you move here for? To play music?
I moved here just because I wanted to get out of Ohio.
Wow.
And see, I always wanted to come to California.
Yeah.
There was a destiny inside me. I'm like, everybody's like, why didn't you go to New York? It was closer. And I'm like, fucking cold there.
Yeah.
And I did live in New York for a year. but much later. First, I lived in Koreatown. Then I moved away. When I came back, I lived in Hollywood. Then I moved to Los Feliz. Then I moved to Echo Park, then Silver Lake. So it's all like
all on the east side.
I'm an East Sider.
Yeah.
And I love I got no problem with the West Side.
Yep.
I just I rarely go west of Western.
Of course.
So
I mean everything's over here.
Yeah. And I got and the emergence of downtown has made it like
it's great.
Like that I go downtown all the time. I'm going down tonight. So
yeah, what do you go down there for?
Restaurants,
gigs too.
Gigs.
Yeah. Are you a basketball guy? Like
I do like basketball. It's funny. Me and my friends had Clippers season tickets for
Lanigan
for 6 years. Lanigan had his own.
Yeah.
And I would see him at the games. I was with the guys I owned the bar with.
Oh yeah.
So and we had tickets like, in the Elton Brand days.
Yeah.
Then Baron Davis
easy
came.
to get.
Then it was just like we'd just go to watch basketball, and then all of a sudden like Lob City happened, and we were like, whoa.
Yeah.
They couldn't make it happen. Long story short, what happened yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And now I went to a Clipper game actually last like November, and it's
not the same.
I'm just like, yeah.
It turned into the Lakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was weird. It was like, Lakers for, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the celebrities go, oh, we like the Clippers now because the Clippers are winning or whatever.
Yeah.
I never liked the Clippers name. I was telling Lanigan about it. I don't like the name. I don't like the jerseys, anything. I was always the Showtime.
Yeah.
I mean, to me.
I'm not a Laker guy.
Yeah.
And granted, I never liked the Clipper name. Their uniforms are atrocious.
They are. Yeah.
Their logo is so fucking stupid. Like I'm like I can't even. But I'm really like I'm a baseball fan.
Yeah.
Like, I have always like baseball's my absolute favorite sport.
Are you a Dodger guy?
I love the Dodgers. I'm a Cincinnati Reds guy first and foremost, but I have lived in LA for a really long time. I've had season tickets for 15 years.
No shit, huh?
And
you're right around the corner.
Yeah, so I'm not like, for me not to love the Dodgers would be bizarre.
Yeah. I'm a San Francisco Giants guy, so I could never love them.
Right,
and I've been here 17 years.
Yeah.
It's just it just doesn't work for me. But I love the.
You, sir, can go fuck yourself.
I love the rivalry. I love the rivalry.
I love the Giants too. I love the rivalry. One of my absolute best friends, David Katznelson, born and raised in San Francisco. Every time like those 3 years that they won the World Series, I was on the phone with him, like listening to him, just like the happiest guy in the world. I love that. I lived through 3 Cincinnati Reds World Championships. I know the greatness of the World Championship and what it does for you. That said, the Giants will not be winning the World Series. Even with Andrew McCutchen and whoever else they got.
Yeah, man, it's I love baseball. I'm not a basketball guy anymore, or I'm really not a sports guy anymore because I'm so engulfed in comedy and film and music that I just kind of like I'll throw on some. To me, sports was when I was doing a lot of drugs and I'd be all burned out and hungover on Sundays, especially.
I don't even want to hear this. I'm going to take you to a baseball game, and you're going to have a great time.
I just went. I went to the last game of the Dodgers season. It was incredible. Bill Burr and I went.
Game 7?
Huh?
Game 7 of the World Series?
No, we went right the last season before the World Series.
Oh.
The last season game. Right. And we sat right there on the field there.
Right.
And I love that field. And
it's my favorite stadium in baseball.
I love it. And this particular game, you can look it up. There was 7 home runs. Right. It was like 14-4. The Dodgers just were hurling the Rockies, and it was the last season game. And we had the time of our life. I got a ball. I saw your balls up there. I got a ball, and I love the park and I love the game. I love to go watch it live with a couple buddies and just chill.
I'll take you to a game.
Oh, to go to a game with Greg Dulli would be unbelievable to me.
My favorite days to go are Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm
no one there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's people there, but it's not that like weekend crush.
Right.
I just hate going out in this town on the weekends.
Yeah, the parking lot there. Yeah. Oh,
you know,
what kind of you've got the bars, and you've had the bars for a long time. Is there good money in bar business? I never understood, I see bars that are around forever, and I just figured they just, there's good money in it, But it's got to be a lot of work, right? Just drunk people all the time.
You're
not there, but when you were there, you were like fucking at first, you were running the place, right?
Well, I was bartending mostly, and, I was also in my 30s.
Yeah.
And,
just whiffing lines and hanging and shit.
I can't comment on that.
Everyone talks drugs on this show, bro. I love it.
I plead the fifth.
Are you clean now?
I am. I drink.
You drink?
Yeah, but I have not done Class A felony drugs in 15 years.
Yeah. Did you hit a rock bottom or you just quit?
Well, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I was certainly at rock bottom, and then I did quit.
Yeah. And, I had a weird thing. Like my left arm went completely fucking numb, and I go, "Oh, I'm out." The next day, that was it. My arm was just numb.
It was fight or flight.
Yeah.
It was. The day came when there was just no more room in there for any of that.
Yeah.
And but I did not go to rehab.
Me either.
And I just quit and never looked back. And luckily I have to say I've never even had a pang of wanting to, like I was so resolute in my decision. I'm like, all right, over.
I'm the same way. I had that same kind of thing. Like, I'm never going to do this again. Same with sugar. I quit sugar 2 years ago. It was the hardest thing I ever did. Way more harder than getting cocaine, cigarettes, and booze.
Right, I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
When we're done here.
Yeah. It's a demon. It's a demon, but I don't think I wouldn't have done it. I got diabetes, and now it's gone.
Right.
But I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have diabetes.
Right.
Because I was one of those guys like, well, fuck, what's the point of living if you don't have something? I always think that, and then I realized, I'll tell you what the point of living is, fucking living.
Yeah. Right.
And I love my life now of doing stand-up comedy. Are you a comedy guy? Do you like?
Yeah, I do.
Who do you like? Do you go see anyone?
I don't really go out to, what was the last time? The last time I probably went to see Margaret.
See who? Oh, Margaret Cho?
Yeah, Margaret.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Like the Wiltern or something?
No, I saw her at the Comedy Store.
Comedy Store. Yeah.
One of the two. That was the last time I went.
I got to get you to come see some comedy.
I'll come. You know what? I love Bill Burr.
Oh, wow.
I love Chappelle.
Yeah.
I love comedy, and I'll show you how much I love comedy. Here's the last 2 cassettes.
Oh yeah,
that I have in the whole world.
Wow, yeah. Oh, Richard Pryor, yeah, man. I got both those on 8-track, unopened.
Yeah,
unopened. Somebody handed them to me.
Richard Pryor is
the god.
He changed my life.
Yeah, right.
He.
At what year? Like in the 70s? Did some kid come over?
I was listening to. I started listening to Richard Pryor when I was probably 9 or 10.
Me too. Remember, like an older guy would have the records Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
And you put those records on and you'd be like, oh my God, they're swearing.
Yeah.
They're talking about crazy shit, right?
Well, I had never heard anybody talk like Richard Pryor before. That was just like an experience that I had never been around, like I was, I grew up in an all white neighborhood, and like that was like
And who had him? Like an older kid on the block?
It was older kid. Same kid who like, turned me on to Miles Davis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like a world I knew nothing about, that I had no foot in, but it was Carlin, Pryor, and Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Chong, man. I remember my buddies, their stepdad was kind of like the long-haired dude.
Right.
They called him Jack.
Right.
And he would go to work and they'd put him on, and it'd be like, we would listen to him and we'd be laughing our heads off because they're swearing and they're talking, Micha Wagan. We don't even know what that shit meant.
Right.
But we're like, it has to be something crazy.
Right. Well, when I found out that it wasn't a strain of weed, but like a state in Mexico.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was that blew my mind. That was, culturally I was being led into places that I didn't know existed.
It's like Iron Maiden lyrics. I learned history from Iron Maiden.
Sure. Right, yeah. Wow.
In a Flight of the Icarus.
Right.
The fuck is that? You know what I mean?
Yep.
You got a tour coming up.
Got a tour coming up.
I got to tell you, I got to go to this because I worship the Afghan Whigs, and my one of my best friends, Kevin Christie, worships Built to Spill.
Great.
We're coming down, and we're going to lose our minds because we're seeing two of our favorite bands together.
Right on.
This tour starts when?
Starts April 11th and goes for 5 weeks.
And it's more of the In Spades, but you're also recording right now,
We're
right?
recording right now, yeah.
A new record?
We're working on a new record right now, yeah.
I can't thank you enough for doing this podcast. Like I said, I only have people on the show that really changed my life or moved me.
Right.
And, that Gentleman tour, and of course the tours after, I went to see you every year after that. But that run, those years, that 6 years or whatever, is just pretty mind-boggling to me. And the music is definitely a soundtrack to me of a huge part of my life.
Oh, well, all right.
And your songwriting is spectacular, and I'm so glad you're out there making music still, man.
I'll do it until I die.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's what's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. And go see the tour. When's it start again?
April 11th.
April 11th. Are you a social media guy?
No, I'm on Twitter.
You're on Twitter?
Yeah.
No Instagram?
No.
We got to get you on that.
I was on Instagram, and then I had to leave because people got weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, weirdos, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
It just got like, it was like, this is not fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. Go out there and listen to some Afghan Whigs records and go see the tour. Thanks for tuning in.